Sports 1300 The Zone. The Frank Way Show, weekdays.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland,
Leander, and Sills be texting.
or wherever you may be listening. This is a Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. The Texas Longhorns are well represented in the NFL draft. The NBA has been on point during these playoffs, but the physicality is getting on my nerves. Texas baseball, well, you already know the story on that. Shador and Quinn stock. Some teams just didn't get it, and what teams had the best draft. I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And our guy Marcus is behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. And if you want to voice your opinion and get a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest, that's right. All you got to do is leave a message by using that talkback feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. You know, the one where you have us as AM 1300 The Zone as your preset, and we'll get the message, and you might even hear it on.
Wow, I might have to try to get those.
Okay. Do you think, player?
Man, my friend Nita Strauss is the lead guitarist for Alice Cooper.
Well, I don't think you need to get tickets. I don't think you need to win the tickets. I think you can get some tickets.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, that's taken away from somebody else's opportunity.
I'm sorry, Hardge.
Yeah. Well, somebody else that took away from the opportunity was the Texas Longhorns. Your Texas Longhorns defeated the Texas A&M Aggies. Sweep. How sweep it is
for
Texas to do that this past weekend. It was outstanding baseball. They set a record number for attendance this past weekend. We expected it to be huge. We expected it to be a big weekend, but Texas and Texas A&M, what a record for the dish. 23,680 people filed in all weekend long to watch this great series between the Texas Longhorns.
How many on Saturday?
I don't know. It was a ton.
It was over 7,000.
It was a ton of people there on Saturday as well, because I went right over there after our pregame show down on Bevo Boulevard. It was outstanding turnout. A lot of people were going back and forth throughout that weekend. But the thing that was
can I thank you, man, because Cam and I were talking about this after our Saturday event, and you hugged us for the first time.
Oh my God, no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
Like normally that's not you, but we want to thank you, man, like for showing some affection.
Well, I appreciate that because I was doing everything I possibly could to get away from y'all. So Saturday, there were 7,800 people that were there, Mark.
Wow.
7,808 people that attended the game on Saturday. Texas wins the series. They win on Friday night 2-1. They win on Saturday night 3-2. And then they win yesterday 6-5. But let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's hear about how this victory took place on Sunday.
So DePlantier ready. Dre's first pitch, and that's hit on the line, down the left field line, on his horse. Rodriguez dives. He made the catch. He made the catch. What a tremendous diving catch from Adrian Rodriguez to take away extra bases from Caden Kent and retire the Aggies in the third.
But not only did he make a great defensive play, he got to come back in the bottom of the third inning to add a little flavor to the ball game.
Miles Patton with another 3-2 pitch to Adrian Rodriguez, and he swings it. Miles Patton with another 3-2 pitch to Adrian Rodriguez, and he swings and lines it into left field. It'll fall in, yes, and it'll go to the wall. Rounding third to score is Farmer. Rounding second is Rodriguez, and he'll hold there with an RBI double the opposite way into the corner. The Longhorns are on the board, and the Aggie lead has been cut in half to 2-1.
Well, here's the interesting part about everything about Adrian Rodriguez. He came into the season as the starting third baseman. Struggled a little bit at third, but he was great at the plate. Ends up hurting his hand. He's a switch hitter. Ends up hurting his hand, limits him a little bit. Then they try to figure out something else. Well, he has to face lefty on lefty now. He's a natural switch hitter in his life, but he has to face left-handed hitters. He's getting base hits off of these left-handed hitters for the first time in his life. But not only was he able to swing the bat well, especially after being hurt, he finished off his great day to help the Texas Longhorns get the victory.
So here's Cade McCoy working to him. The lefty-lefty matchup. He swings and lifts a high fly ball to left. Drifting back heel, still drifting. Say goodnight to it. Apo Taco. It drops into the Aggie bullpen. Adrian Rodriguez drops a bomb just over the left field wall into the bullpen. And the Longhorns take a 6-5 lead.
And not only was that a big-time hit, Apo Taco, as my man Craig Way so eloquently said it.
It's so funny.
It set up what ended up being one of the greatest endings to a series, and kind of apropos when you think about it.
Here's the stretch. A 1-2 pitch from Grubbs. Swung on, ground ball hit to first, and Schussler will throw to second for one. Relay to first in time. It's there. Ball game over. Series sweep. The Longhorns sweep the Aggies by getting a double play, and Texas wins it 6-5.
6-5 victory on a great weekend of baseball. And Coach Schlossnagle, who obviously was at Texas A&M, had his opportunity to come to the University of Texas. This was the most highly anticipated weekend of college baseball. When this matchup was set, two things happened. They wanted to see where the series was going to be played, number one. And number two, they wanted to see how everybody was going to react to this series. Because Schlossnagle ends up leaving Texas A&M right after the College World Series, takes a job with his good friend, Chris Del Conte, and we got a chance to talk to Drew Martin on Saturday, who Coach Schlossnagle worked with Drew at TCU with everything that's involved. So to say that he's glad that the series was over is an understatement. 7 straight series that the Texas Longhorns have won in the SEC. 7 straight series. And this is what he had to say in the postgame.
Coach, I say it to you a lot, but it's so true. The will to win sometimes is so important. And then you got to perform when you get that opportunity, and your guys did that again today.
We did. What a great 3-game series, 1-run ball games, all 3. Very well pitched, certainly by their starting pitching, and Jason didn't have a good day. But I told Dre that before the weekend, you're going to do something big this weekend. And he gave up some runs, but he just he kind of held the line. Got us a lot of outs, kept us in the ball game, and we got enough swings to get it done.
That's where I was going to go next. You needed outs. You got 2 on in the second inning. You got to find a way to get 23, 24 outs, because I know you didn't want to use. You didn't want to use some of the guys at the back end.
I mean, I didn't have Grubbs on the list until the 9th inning. Max walks in and says, Grubbs wants to pitch if we need him. And I said, well, let's see if we can squeeze it out with Saunier a little bit. But, when your veteran captain wants the ball, you got to give it to him sometimes.
And then the last thing is what A-Rod has done, just going through this. Having a hand, not a switch hitter all of his life, and now he's just come in and then have the kind of ball game he did left-handed against left-handers.
I knew he could do it. We just told him he could do it, but it's just a matter of him, having the confidence to hang in there and see enough pitches, just get used to it coming at him. And then once he starts staying on the ball to left field, that line drive, then, obviously the wind helped his homer, but he was on the baseball.
Well, congratulations. It's a heck of a victory.
Okay. Dick, hook him.
Hook him.
You hear that?
Yeah.
He said, I knew he could do it. I told him he can do it.
Yeah.
That confidence, the difference, all of 3 games were 1-point games. 1-score games.
Yep.
Coach Schlossnagle was the difference in those 1-score games.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about coaching. Or let me say, good coaching. Good coaching makes good teams great. It makes great teams champions. And I feel like he is making a great team a championship caliber team.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you continue to look at and you say, wow, they find a way to get it done. Speaking of getting it done, those Texas Longhorn football players got it done, and we'll talk about it next.
Talk about
right
it.
Here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Northbound on FM 973 near 969, there's an accident reported that has traffic backed up to Tesla Road. There's a 5-minute delay. And then on the southbound side of 360, there's some heavy traffic between 183 and Lakewood Drive. That's going to keep you in your vehicle an extra 10 minutes. I'm Junior Caruso with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
tax advantaged money to grow. But as you get close to needing to spend the money, de-risking is crucial.
In uncertain financial times, How to Money is here to help. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search How to Money, and start listening today.
Hey friends, I'm Jessica Capshaw. And this is Camilla Luddington. And we have a new podcast. Call It What It Is. You may know us from Graceland Memorial, but did you know that we are actually besties in real life? When one of us sends out the distress signal, the other one always answers the call. Big or small, we're there.
And what does that look like? 1,000 pep talks, 1,000,000 I've got yous, some very urgent I'm coming overs. Because, I don't know, let's face it, life can get even crazier than a season finale of Grey's Anatomy.
And now here we are, opening up the friendship circle.
Someone's cheating?
We've got you on that.
In-laws are in-lying?
Let's get into it.
Toxic friendship?
Air it out.
We're on your side to help you with your concerns. Talk about ours, and every once in a while, bring on an awesome guest to get their take on the things that you bring us. Listen to Call It What It Is on the iHeartRadio app.
The Round Rock Express play here. 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to a Longhorns Monday edition of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300. As we talked about before, Texas Longhorns sweep Texas A&M fighting Aggies. Right now, we're going to continue the conversations about the Texas Longhorn football team as it had 12 players drafted in the 2025 draft. And think about this, last year they had 11. So our over-under of 13, Mark, we came up a little bit short. I thought for sure we was going to get over that number, but the draft kind of was out of control and it kept flipping back and forth and, just certain things didn't happen. So we were off a little bit on the draft, but having 12 guys drafted is an amazing feat for the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, it's an amazing feat for any team, like to have that many players that is valued. And right now, Hardge, like it looks like there'll be more the same next season.
Right.
It scares me to be able to lose the guys we're losing next year.
Right.
I know they haven't got here yet, but I'm just saying, like, let's fill the cupboard up.
Think about this. Over the last 2 seasons, Texas has had 23 guys drafted. And to me, that tells you everything you need to know about development.
Yeah.
The conversation has always been about Texas doesn't develop their guys. Texas doesn't develop their guys. They had 1 guy drafted in 2021. 1. And here they are over the last 2 seasons with 23 draft picks. And when you put all of that together and you look at what Georgia, you look at LSU, you look at those other Alabama, you look at those other programs, Texas is the leader now in the last 2 seasons, because over the last 2 seasons, Texas had 23, Georgia's had 21, Michigan had 20, Ohio State 18, and Oregon 18. Think about that. Then you also add in Texas now goes into that vaunted SEC, and guess what?
And where do they go?
Texas is part of the SEC, and they are adding to the 79 players that were drafted from the SEC.
Yeah.
Texas had 12 of those. Big Ten, 71. ACC, 42. Big 12, 31. Independents, 7. Mountain West, 6. AAC, 6. And the list goes on and on. The Sun Belt only had 1.
Hey, we're not going to talk about them.
Yeah, we're going to keep that moving. But you just start to think about the development and what we've been able to see. We talked about recruiting on Saturday. All those new players. Sark talked about bringing in 22 freshmen at the halfway point. Guys that left school early to come to the University of Texas to get acclimated to the university. 22 of those guys.
There was some of them that were here Saturday.
Yep.
Did you see the carts driving by with the there was one kid, I don't know where he's from, but he can barely fit in the cart. Am I making this up?
No.
Y'all, I'm not making this up.
You pointed it out to
I
me.
said, Hardge, look, it looked like somebody tried to shove a giraffe in one of those carts. That dude was huge.
Right.
Bring him. I don't care what position he play. Like, sign him.
No doubt.
I got 27 cents that I could throw on the rest of that NIL for y'all.
27 cents.
Hey, listen, I got more than 2 nickels, but listen, it's gonna take a lot to get that guy back. Whoa.
No doubt. One of those guys that we were talking about and we've continued to talk about throughout his time on the 40 acres is Barron Sorrell. Barron Sorrell was somebody that all he did was continue to work. Barron Sorrell was invited to Green Bay for the draft. Obviously, Barron Sorrell didn't go early in the draft. But you know what Barron Sorrell actually did? He stuck around in Green Bay, didn't come home, stayed there, and he got his name called by Roger Goodell. And here's that.
This is a special pick, not just because it's the Packers. This young man is here today, so we want to introduce him. So give him a good round of applause. With the 124th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Barron Sorrell, defensive end, Texas.
And here's why the commissioner came out to announce it, because Barron Sorrell has been in the green room this entire time. And here he is.
Wow. Good for him sticking around. Pretty cool. Now, I don't think he had any expectation of night one, but I think there was the thought that yesterday was going to possibly be his day. But I love the fact that he stuck it out. Here he is getting his moment. Reminds me of when Geno Smith stuck it out. Remember that? Came back the next day and got his moment. Kevin King did that years ago. This is pretty cool for this young man.
Geno was just the second round. It wasn't a very long wait
very
for
long,
him.
But everyone thought he was a lock first rounder and came back the second day with not the suit, but the sweater and tie combo that they had to go pick up for him.
And that's what it's all about, man. The dedication. And the thing about it, man, we talked about it, Mark. This is something that you work your behind off for. That's why you lift all them weights. That's why you run those heels. This is what you work out for when you're playing whatever sport it may be, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, soccer, hockey. You work your behind off as a kid to get the opportunity to go to college. And then when you get to college, you bust your behind to get the opportunity to get to the NFL. And for him, that goal was achieved.
Can I pat myself on the back a little bit?
About what?
I told y'all that it was going to be Barron Sorrell and that it was going to be Jaden Blue. And I was told at the table, at the draft, when we did our party, that I don't know about Jaden Blue. He'll be a free agent signing.
Who told you that?
Our only Craig Way.
Oh, okay.
I'm tired of being right.
Oh, my goodness.
Tired of being right. I told you Barron Sorrell is one of those guys. I never saw one guy block him. He got chipped. He would get inside on guys, and he had the spin move. He had the bob. He had the bull rush. He was so versatile. Like he had everything he needed. I think that the one thing that he don't have that I hope somebody gets with him is a diet. He needs 10 more pounds of muscle, not 10 more pounds just of active weight.
Is massive.
But if he's gonna play with power the way that he mostly starts with power, he's not Dwight Freeney where he uses the spin move and everything is based off of the spin move. He attacks guys first. So if power is your ultimate weapon, then he's going to have to develop it more. The second thing is I want to see what his clean and jerk looks like. I want to see his vertical jump, his long jump. I want to see alternating isometric movements to make him more explosive.
He's not gonna have to do that anymore. He's drafted. They did that at the
No.
combine.
You got it. This is where it starts. The NFL, he's going to have to go in there and be more explosive than the guys that he's playing against. These offensive tackles in the NFL, Hardge, The average 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds. He's not going to go against these 285-pound college tackles no more. He needs to be more explosive. Hopefully his team gets with him and say, listen, now the work starts.
Well, he's somebody that I've always been fond of. I think that each year
I'm a
he
fan.
got better and better and better. He had 40 starts in 49 career games. He had 44 tackles, 16 solo. He was voted the top defensive lineman at the Senior Bowl. So he made some noise for himself, and he is definitely a guy that I'm very happy has a chance. I mean, when you start looking at the draft and what went on, Kelvin Banks to the Saints, Jahdae Barron, first rounder to Denver Broncos, Matthew Golden, a first rounder to Green Bay. Those two guys are going to be on the same team together, so that's pretty doggone cool. Second round, you had Alfred Collins. Second round, you had Andrew Makuba. In third round, you had Vernon. It has already been Broughton. Then you get into Gunnar Helm, Barron Sorrell, Cam Williams, Jaden Blue. The list goes on and on. Hayden Connor and Quinn Ewers. These are special, special moments when you start to think about this Texas football team and the foundation that these teams had with these younger players. It is something that I'm excited for, I'm excited about, and I can't be even more proud of what we've seen over these years. As we talk about
I hate that I have to hate Andrew Makuba now.
Well, Andrew Makuba and so Cam Williams.
I used to like him.
Yeah, they are all Philadelphia Eagles. Two of them are Philadelphia Eagles. I ain't getting no jersey for them, though, so it is what it is. But I'm proud of them. I'm happy for those guys, and now they get to continue to chase their dreams. Coming up next in the Hard Knocks Life, I'm going to talk more about these draft grades. And can we talk about this Shedeur Sanders situation? I'm going to tell you why it's not going to be what you think it is. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Northbound on FM 973 near 969, there's an accident reported that has traffic backed up to Tesla Road. There's a 5-minute delay. And then on the southbound side of 360, there's some heavy traffic between 183 and Lakewood Drive. That's going to keep you in your vehicle an extra 10 minutes. I'm Junior Caruso with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off. Free UPS shipping and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Hardball Hardge.
And this is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
And we're here to talk to you about myplates.com.
Tell them about it, Mike.
Mark, when you're on the road and looking at the vehicles, what's the first thing you see?
Well, I'm usually a nice car, but the plates, baby.
At myplates.com, you can create a plate that shows exactly who you are.
Like the one I'm thinking about, the world's strongest man. Had to let them know.
Come on, you can get colors, styles, slogans. My Plates let you flex your Texas pride your way.
Big truck, big attitude, and it's better to have a plate to match it.
Hit up myplates.com today and put in the promo code The Zone. That's The Zone, all one word, for up to $55 in savings. And make your ride look as good as you do.
Or even better, myplace.com.
That's the way to go. And tell them Hardball Hardge
and Mark Henry
sent you.
Since 1909, the Coverts have grown with Texas, driving progress, earning trust, and serving our communities. 116 years later, my family's proud to continue this legacy at Covert Chevrolet in Bastrop, delivering exceptional service and continuing a reputation of excellence. Covert Chevrolet in Bastrop. Come see us or shop our low rates and special offers online at covertbastrop.com. Trade-in values are up, so now's the time to trade in and trade up. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop. Together, let's drive.
Social media can be a significant source of stress for parents of teens. Meta's head of safety for North America, Jennifer Hanley, explains what the company is doing to enhance privacy features and parental controls.
Social media can help teens build friendships and support networks, but parents are understandably worried about possible risks. Specifically, parents want additional resources to protect teens from unwanted interactions or inappropriate material.
Meta is expanding teen accounts to Facebook and Messenger. Teen accounts already in place on Instagram have built-in protections for teens to limit who is contacting them and the content they see.
These are big updates that fundamentally change the experience for teens who use Instagram and their parents. New protections for teen accounts restrict users under 16 from going live without parental consent and limit teens' ability to see unwanted images and DMs.
For more information on Meta's teen accounts, visit meta.com. That's meta.com.
The Knicks take a 3-1 lead, beating the Pistons 94-93 today. 2 Game 4 matchups are tonight. The Celtics at the Magic, the Bucks hosting the Pacers. The NHL playoffs continue as the Canadiens take on the Capitals. Kings facing the Oilers tonight. And Longhorns quarterback Quinn Ewers was selected by the Dolphins in the 7th round of the NFL draft on Saturday, rounding out a program best 12 players drafted in this year's draft for Texas. I'm Darrell Joyner.
This is 11-year NBA veteran Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Thrivent. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because the most important thing isn't what you're planning for, it's who. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 original stations waiting for you to explore right now, like 24/7 comedy.
Men don't settle there. We surrender.
Women, we never express the emotions we're actually feeling, right? I'm fine means I'm about to stab you in the neck.
Clips from today's top comedians and the greatest of all time.
Donut hole. If you want a donut, have a donut. Why are you eating the hole?
When you need a laugh, just open the free iHeartRadio app and search comedy.
You can actually change the station.
iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum. That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe. I didn't know the trees were so amazing. Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb. That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Texas baseball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300. As I sit here right now and think about this NFL draft and the opportunities that were out, you start to look at all of these teams and try to see what their draft grades are. We'll continue those conversations. But one of the biggest stories, obviously, was about Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur Sanders finally gets his name called by a team that was originally supposed to be the team that was going to draft him. It was just going to be 4 rounds earlier. Shedeur Sanders going in the 5th round to the Cleveland Browns. Now, here's the situation for me when it comes to this. The situation that cleans up is he finally gets drafted. Situation's going to be what it is. But it seemed like there was some collusion when it comes to this type of stuff. When you have, I'm just going to go seems. I'm not going to accuse anybody of collusion, but on the surface, it seems as such. And I had some friends that have obviously been around the game and got some guys that coach in the NFL that I spoke with over the weekend. And this seems to be more about the power struggle. Here's the thing. Deion Sanders is not going to be the one playing. Deion Sanders is not going to be the one coaching. So why do you always seem to penalize the kids for something that the parents do?
Right. Yeah.
That to me is the biggest problem.
The sins of the father.
And not only that, what father of an NBA, NFL, Major League, hockey, all have something to say about where their kids are going to end up
They
going?
all do.
So I don't understand why people keep putting this on Deion. Now, in Shadour's defense, he said himself, after everything was done, that he should have handled it a lot differently. That right there, number one, shows me humility.
Maturity.
Number two, shows some maturity. And number three, reading the room is something that I think a lot of people don't ever truly understand. And I think more people, instead of being the first to bash, the first to break the story, get everything right first before you decide that this is where you want to be. I could care less. There's so much stuff that you and I know behind the scenes on so many different issues that I don't care to bring to the forefront.
No.
Because it's not my place. When the stories come out, we talk about it. But a lot of things that we are privy to, we don't always bring to the table. But then it takes me back to the prank call. I've never, ever in my life thought that was funny. There has not been one time that I've called somebody and pretended I was somebody else, especially on the biggest days of other people's lives. It's not cool. It's not fun. And I don't find the humor in any of
Where's
that.
the funny?
It's not. And that is why it frustrates me to all get out when a coach.
But what made him feel like that he was allowed that? That comes from disrespect and thinking it's okay.
Right.
What did he hear in that room with his father and other people of interest that made him say, you know what, man, I'm finna play this joke.
Right.
Because of disrespect.
For those,
blatant disrespect.
For those that don't know, to recap this story, on one of the coaches for the Atlanta Falcons, his son did a prank call to Shadour Sanders. He went across his dad's iPad, came across the contact number, grabbed the number, and called him to prank him to say that he was getting drafted by X team. That's not funny.
I can tell you what made him think that was okay. He's never faced consequences before.
Well, I mean, the psychoanalyzed, I don't know how old this guy is.
He's a 21-year-old kid.
Yeah, so he's old enough to know better.
Yeah.
But is he involved in the organization?
Well, I doubt that, but
no,
there are a segment of people who've never been confronted face to face about doing stupid things. That's what I think it was, and that's why I think he thought that was funny, because he's never had to face someone after he'd done something like this to him.
Well, it's coming.
Well, I mean, it's coming, but here's the other part of the consequence. Your father now may lose his job. Your father may be suspended, and he may be fined.
They should lose a draft pick, definitely. The league should say this should never happen. Yep. We are exempt from the whole ordeal of it.
Well,
in fact, we're going to fine them, and they're going to lose a draft pick in the first round next year. Then you got a problem.
Cooper DeJean got prank called. Other players got prank called as well. But the story was about what you heard from Shadour Sanders. He was the one that was the more high profile. He was the one that was the most talked about. He was the guy that ended up getting the sound of it all. Tyler Warren, the tight end that ended up from Penn State, he got prank called. Kyle McCord, former quarterback from Ohio State that is at Syracuse, he got prank called.
By the same guy?
No, just by different people.
Okay.
And again, I don't understand why people think prank calling is funny. It's just those games. I'm too old for those games.
But
man.
you know what? You're too old and too polished hard for that kind of activity. But it's because of the law. The law allows people to get away with stupid and insensitive behavior because, it's just a prank. Not realizing that guys spent their whole lives to get that call.
Yep.
And it's like getting a fake lotto ticket. You'll give somebody a fake lotto ticket and they go to redeem it and it goes, ha ha.
Well, I definitely don't want to see that. Don't play with me with my
But
lotto
it's the same thing.
Because I'm looking for that money.
It's the same thing.
Uh-oh!
We're going to get you some counseling.
Man, listen.
I'm over here trying to be serious.
You are. But look, congratulations to Shadors, congratulations to Quinn, and congratulations to all those that get an opportunity. But quit playing with people's emotions, Smokey. It's not that fun.
It's not.
Coming up next, I'm going to tell you somebody that's having way too much fun, and that's Bill Belichick. But he doesn't look comfortable at his fun. We'll talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Southbound 360 is moving slow between 183 and Lakewood Drive. There's just over a 20-minute delay traveling through the area. Also seeing stop-and-go traffic on the northbound side of 35 between the 45 toll and Stasny. There's close to a 20-minute delay. I'm Junior Caruso with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
And Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Leo Schofield spent decades in prison for a crime Jeremy Scott later confessed to. Season 2 of the hit podcast Bone Valley investigates how Jeremy's violent past unfolded and who else may have suffered his wrath.
This is a case that should never happen. I told him you got it wrong, you got the wrong man.
Listen to Bone Valley on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Bone Valley.
Quentin has 24 hours to sell his car. How? He goes to Carvana.com.
Is this a movie trailer?
He enters his license plate. Wow, that's a great offer.
And they'll pick it up tomorrow. Done with the dramatics?
Car selling in record time. Go to Carvana.com and sell your car today. Pickup fees may apply.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Boot Barn honors a Western legacy built by those who persevere through resourceful determination. Ariat honors that same legacy by bringing innovative technology to classic pieces. Driven by a dedication to the craft, Ariat blends timeless Western artistry with advanced performance features for the modern cowboy and rodeo athlete. Out west, ingenuity is second to none. Ariat at Boot Barn.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ownwell. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ownwell.com/terms. Estimate based on your neighborhood average and individual results may vary.
When I saw how high my property tax bill was, I was shocked. We couldn't afford this, but I discovered Ownwell. Ownwell reduced my property taxes and saved me over $1,000.
Your property taxes aren't set in stone. They can be protested and they can be reduced. But instead of filing protests yourself and very possibly losing your appeal, Ownwell does it all for you. But hurry, time is running out to protest. Ownwell has reduced property taxes for hundreds of thousands of Texans and put money back in their pocket, and you can be one of them. And unlike other companies that take half of whatever you save, Ownwell charges just 25%, and that's only if you save.
Now I don't worry about my property taxes. Ownwell reduces it every year.
Sign up now, free. Don't pay unless you save. But hurry, time is running out to protest. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
Super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horn. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Wake up with Hardge and Henry in the morning kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. I told you at the beginning of the show you would have an opportunity to win some tickets, and what better way than to give away some tickets. That's right, Judas Priest. You want those opportunity to win some Judas Priest tickets? Well, guess what, folks? I'm about to give it to you right now. All you got to do is get over to AM 1300 The Zone on the iHeartRadio app. Search that red microphone, tap it, and leave the word turbo for a chance to win Alice Cooper and Judas Priest tickets at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater, October the 25th. All you got to do is leave the word turbo for a chance to win those tickets. All right, let's get into this because this is crazy to me. This is really, really crazy to me. As you know, Bill Belichick is now the head coach for the North Carolina Tar Heels. It has been much talked about. Everybody thought he was going to take a year off and then get back into the NFL. People thought that they were crazy in Atlanta to not accept Bill, to not hire Bill because he's a champion. They said that Robert Kraft had kind of blackballed him, talked negatively about him. I mean, just everything that you could possibly do to not get this guy hired. And we were like, no, Bill's funny. Bill's changed his ways. He's done some different things. Then the noise comes out about Bill Belichick dating a 24-year-old. And people are like, well, I mean, why does that even matter? It doesn't matter how old she is. Well, you're right. It doesn't matter how old she is. It matters how old Bill is. And Bill is 73 years old, and he is dating a 24-year-old young lady. So now you sit there and you're like, wait a minute, what's really going on? Well, you find out that she is now working for the University of North Carolina. She's helping, she's coaching, she's doing all kinds of things. And now She's also sitting in on Bill Belichick's interviews. Bill Belichick was on a show yesterday, CBS Good Morning, and was interviewed. And he was asked a bunch of questions that she did not want him to answer.
The ones that I've experienced directly. He's not even in the acknowledgement section. Correct? Do you feel like you were treated with dignity and respect when you were let go by Robert Kraft?
Yeah, well, it was a mutual decision for us to part ways.
He said fired.
It was a mutual decision.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that.
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on, though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordan, where you're a fisherman, she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like?
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of photos. There's another one where you're doing, I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet. She's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
Awkward. Can you say awkward? He kept looking at her. Every time a question was being asked, he would look at her to get clearance to talk about it. You saw that she was interjecting in it. And if you hadn't seen the video of her at practices, it is something that has a lot of folks really worried about what's going on with Bill Belichick. Look, let's be honest. I know people think that this stuff is fun and he's just having a good time. I truly am worried about what's going on with Bill Belichick. This is not going to end well. I don't think it's ever was going to end well. And I'm not a hater. Let my man do what he does. But it seems to me as if this situation with her and what's going on is going to be troublesome for those that are all involved. They didn't want Bill Belichick to do certain things. He's been continuing to do it. Even the question about what went on with him and Robert Kraft did not seem to be good for one Bill Belichick. If you can go and search the entire audio of that, I know people are going to be like, well, you know, it was edited. No, go watch the whole thing. It is very, very weird. And sometimes when it looks like that, that's exactly what it is. It becomes that. And Bill Belichick's situation does not look like a healthy situation. Bill is 73 years old, and she is telling him, don't talk about that. Don't do this. Don't do that. He's 73. Those are the types of things that make you wonder what exactly it is that has been controlling this situation. She sat in on the interviews. Do you think Bill had that many people sitting in on his interviews before? I think not. Did Bill not answer any of the questions, the pertinent ones? I think he did not answer those questions. So we will continue to try to figure out what is going on with Bill Belichick, what is going on with this relationship, and more importantly, is North Carolina dealing with something that they never had to deal with Mac Brown when our guy Mac Brown was running things in Chapel Hill? I am definitely going to be paying a lot of attention to this situation. Hour number 1 is in the books. Hour number 2 is just around the corner. We'll talk NBA. We'll still talk NFL. Mark's World's Strongest Take. And, of course, we got to finish it out talking about QB1 and what he means to the Texas Longhorns. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
This is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Discover the true taste of Texas at Mum's Food, Smokehouse, and Delicatessen, where everything is handcrafted in-house, from the mustard to the bacon. Proudly featured in the inaugural Michelin Guide of Texas, they source the finest products from local producers. Visit us at 5811 Manor Road, Austin, Texas, or find them at your favorite farmer's market. Pre-order their barbecue today. Don't you keep the best delicatessen in Austin a secret. Tell them Mark Henry sent you.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most: attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day. But when we're driving, cooking, and working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
With your busy schedule, there's no way you have time for all those complicated fantasy lineups. But there is time to win up to 2,000 times your money on Better Picks. With Better Picks, you can jump in fast and pick more or less on your favorite player's stats for a chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash, all in the time it takes to listen to this commercial.
Pick, tap, and win. That's it. You can turn that $10 bill in your glove box into $20,000. That's some real excitement.
So don't forget, if it's game day, it's Better Picks Day. Crank up the excitement with Better Picks and play for huge cash payouts. Go to BETRPicks.com or download Better in the App or Play Store and use promo code RADIO to get your first deposit matched in bonus funds up to $77. That's BetterPicks.com, promo code RADIO.
Must be 21 or older and in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned with your play? Call the NCPG at 1-800-522-4700.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Out here, you'll find a community of hardworking creators with loyal followers, along with proud moments worth sharing. And farm to table, well, that's just supper. And whether it's a raised garden bed, acres of land, or something for your animals, we've got all the supplies and are happy to share a little know-how.
Welcome to Tractor Supply. Into life out here.
Running a fleet is expensive. So what happens when you cut the fuel bill by 10% with a Coast Fleet Card?
We're saving money and time, which means we're able to take better care of all of our vehicles and our techs, plus our bottom line. Coast has been a real game changer for us.
With Coast, you get smarter spending, stronger security, and real support when you need it. Set spending limits, track purchases in real time, and stop unauthorized transactions before they happen. Coast works anywhere Visa is accepted, so you're not limited to overpriced or out-of-the-way gas stations.
The customer service is way above the company that we used before. Along with the extra security, it's worth saying again, total game changer for us.
Go to coastpay.com/sports and learn how to save an average of 10% on your fuel bill with Coast. That's coastpay.com/sports to save 10% on fuel with Coast. Coastpay.com/SPORTS.
Coast Card products are issued by Celtic Bank. All card accounts are subject to credit approval. Actual savings may vary. See terms at coastpay.com. The spokesperson and characters in this ad are actor portrayals.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horde. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Hordes, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 on a Longhorn Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. And now hour number 1, we talked a lot about the Texas Longhorns and what they were able to do against the Aggies. We also talked about the draft picks and how Texas is now the place of development. We gave grades out, and Bill Belichick, man, that whole situation just drives me nuts. But let's get right into it. The NBA has been fantastic. The battles, the toughness, the NFL style of the NBA has been something that has been kind of out of control, and it continues to be that way. Over the weekend, we saw the Nuggets and the Clippers come down to the very end, and a buzzer beater was made. We also saw the Cleveland Cavaliers destroy the Miami Heat, and what is really going on down there. The Thunder got rid of the Grizzlies in a 4-0 sweep and showing you why they were the best team in the NBA. And the Warriors and the Rockets. Steph Curry set out the bat signal. Jimmy Butler set out the bat signal. And it was all about Steph Curry. We'll get into the Lakers in just a moment, but let's get into this conversation, because as you look at this weekend and what you were able to see, the Clippers and the Nuggets decided, you know what? It's about time for us to put hands on each other.
Harden with it. Brown will defend. Screen Zubac. Foul right there with Denver having a foul to give. Oh, we got a shove, and it's right in front of us. See, if you're Gordon, you don't need it. As valuable as you've been playing.
That's what it's all about right there. We talk about playoff basketball, Mark. We talk about getting it in. But this is something that I was saying from the very beginning. I understand playoff basketball. I understand having physicality. But, dude, these referees have to get this game under control. You heard Jaylen Brown of Boston. He talked about it. He said, I guess we just going to have to fight. And now these types of moments that we're starting to see the chippiness of all of this is now getting to the point now where it's not even basketball anymore.
It's across the board.
Right.
Like every game that I watched had chippiness in it because lack of control from the referees and the standard in which it is set. As long as I can remember, before the game, the referees always went out with the captains and said, guys, this is the way we're going to coach it. This is the way we're going to ref it. This is the way that it's going to be. You get outside of that, I'm calling a foul.
Yeah.
And if you get a little bit, any non-basketball related plays, I'm calling technical.
Yep.
Get ready. If your best player is off the floor and a half, it's your fault.
Right.
Because you're the team captain. Take responsibility. Y'all go out and have a good game. The referees are not controlling no more.
I agree.
They're not controlling. They're not doing that.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw the captains meet at the half? Remember when Magic and Isaiah used to kiss cheeks?
Oh, man.
I know it's, it's pause.
It's early in the morning.
It's too early. but they that used to be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't do it no more.
Oh, I know.
So they need to go back and get the coaches. I wouldn't even bring the players on the floor no more. I'll bring the coaches out. Hey, tell your team it's going to be a tightly officiated game.
Right.
It's going to be like AAU tonight because y'all can't control yourselves, so we got to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it right there.
Well, and for the way that game ended, it was the Joker who had another almost triple-double. Again, 36, 21, and 8.
Who got fouled so many times that I just stopped counting.
Right.
And he was visibly frustrated to the point to where, when's the last time you saw Joker want to fight somebody?
That's what I'm saying. Like that is why the physicality of the game has got to be more under control. I love the game. My son told me last night, Dad, this is just playoff basketball. It's like the old days. They need more eyes on the TV. No, it's not even fun to watch. It's not fun to watch, but the Joker being the Joker, and he got a little help from one Aaron Gordon.
Zubats is on him. And this is for the win. Oh, it's close. They're going to call it. Buzzer. Did Gordon beat the buzzer? They're going to take a look at it.
And they did beat the buzzer, and there were multiple angles. They went back and forth, and because they called it good on the court, they saw it happen. So now that series is tied after the 101-99 victory of the Nuggets over the Clippers. As I talked about, the Cavaliers continue to dominate against the Heat. I don't know what's going on with the Heat. This has been a big challenge for them. So it's on to the next. The Thunder and the Grizzlies. We knew that wasn't going to happen. We knew
You're so nice.
Oh.
You're one of the nicest people I know.
I try not to
because you
be.
do know what's wrong with the Grizz. I mean, with the Heat.
What?
They trade away Jimmy Butler,
Yes.
their best player, because they can't come to an agreement on the financials and power struggle and all of that stuff. We already said that Bam Adebayo is a glorified role player. He's not an elite player.
Right.
And Tyler Hero, as good as he is a valuable piece, but he is not him.
He's not the focal point. He should never
And,
be
and
the
we
focal
talked
point.
about that.
Yeah.
The Heat culture and how hard they play and all of that plays a part in it. But Hardge, you're being very respectful.
I'm trying to.
I appreciate that.
I'm trying to. Another big-time matchup was the Knicks and the Pistons. They, too, are scrappy, coming down to fights. It's one of those games we're starting to see Cade Cunningham become the player that he is. Another triple-double, but he got a triple-double in a loss. Jalen Brunson, they put the ball in his hands, but Karl Anthony Towns was clutch of all clutch last night, and it was impressive to see. But the story is the Timberwolves and the Lakers. I could not wait to get in here today, Mark, to come and talk to you about your squad, your Lakers squad. LeBron James, Mr. I'm about to be the superstar with this team, but Anthony Edwards becomes a star in the making and no backing down on what he was able to do. And we was asked about LeBron James and why we here.
And in Game 3, you and LeBron we saw you laughing together today. You were getting very physical with him, pushing what's it been like to go against him, and were you trying to make a point when you wrestled him a little bit there?
Yeah, it's gonna be physical, man. I'm gonna say I was trying to make a point, but just let him know that we here. You ain't just gonna push us around all night. I mean, because I'm not gonna lie, he's strong. It's hard to keep him from, like, he posted me up. He got all the way to the rim. I was glad he missed the layup, but he a lot stronger than me. But just let him know that we're gonna be here all night, and I'm gonna be a pest to him. Whenever I get on him, I'm gonna try to get up under his skin.
Hard, you couldn't wait to get in my face and tell me how about my team. Well, I'm gonna tell you something, Hard.
Come on, man.
It ain't about the players. It's about the coach.
Oh my goodness. Here we go.
I
thought LeBron was the coach.
No, let me finish. They brought JJ Redick in to do a job, and now JJ Redick is gonna have to be public. He's gonna have to say Luka's is gonna have to play through fouls. He can't flop. They're not gonna call every flop. And then once you put it on paper as a coach, we got to work better with LeBron finishing shots. LeBron is so confident that sometimes he just is very lackadaisical in his finish. When you put the pressure on your elites, everybody else know. The Lakers, others, they played well enough to beat them. They played the main guys. Did not play to the standard of the main guys, regardless of how many points, rebounds, and assists they had. It's all the intangible things that they didn't follow up on. And a lot of that, there were 2 points when the Lakers had leads. They should have called timeouts, and they didn't. JJ Redick allowed his team to play through problems because he had 2 strong leaders on the floor, and it's his job to do it. So just do your job, JJ Redick.
Well, here's the deal. Those leaders that are on the floor, he gave them those titles because LeBron James and Luka Doncic are supposed to be the stars. LeBron James did not take but 2 shots in the fourth quarter. And then he passed the ball when the game was on the line to Austin Reeves. Right play, right basketball play, but LeBron James is the guy that has to take those shots, and he's got to be more effective in the fourth quarter. And LeBron talked about the turnover under 10 seconds.
All the time, hand is part of the ball. That's what they say. And, I feel like the hand was a part of that ball. I was able to get his hand on top of the ball stripped down and out on him. So I've seen that play over and over before, but it is what it is.
Well, he better get it figured out because the way that this game is being played, they may be going to Galveston.
Padre, one of them.
They are headed to vacation, and the misery and the trade that was made is going to make Nico Harrison look a lot better because that Luka still ain't playing no defense. When we come back, we're going to get back into the NFL. Who were some of the biggest conferences? I think we know, but there was a lot of Power Fours that made their impact on the NFL draft. We'll talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Texas softball is heating up. Catch every pitch.
Soaring fly ball center field. Back goes Dill. The warning track to the wall. It's gone. Jolie Mitchell for the second game in a row. A round tripper, and the Longhorns up 4-1 here in the 7th inning.
As the Horns take on the SEC, search Retro Austin on the free iHeart Radio app and listen to Texas softball all season long.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's check. Enter it now.
AM 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Eastbound on 290, there's debris in the roadway, and the off-ramp to 35 is partially blocked. Southbound 35 near 15th Street, there's a disabled vehicle that's blocking the left center lane. Use caution and expect a minor delay there. I'm Junior Caruso with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Hey, if you're looking to refurbish your smile or just taking care of your day-to-day dental health care needs, I can recommend a solution. Dr. Greg Eckert. Dr. Eckert has been at it for 30 years now here in Austin, helping folks with dental repair, whitening, cosmetic dentistry, and a leader in full mouth restoration. They can help you make the informed decision about your dental health care. Give Dr. Eckert a call today at 512-345-3166. That's Eckert with a U, U-E-C-K-E-R-T. 512-345-3166 for Dr. Greg Eckert.
A message for qualified investors from Noble Gold Investments. If your portfolio is over $250,000 and you aren't hedged, you're sitting on a ticking time bomb. With markets at all-time highs, history tells us what comes next. A 10% allocation into gold and silver can help diversify. Experienced investors know that in times of economic uncertainty, real assets, not paper promises, offer true security. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy to add institutional-grade gold and silver to your portfolio, so you can hedge like the world's smartest investors. For nearly a decade, Noble Gold has helped thousands of Americans protect their future, turning numbers on a screen into real, tangible assets. And right now, when you make a qualified investment, Noble Gold will add a free 10th-ounce gold coin to your order. Disciplined investors protect what they've built. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com today. NobleGoldInvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hey, Austin, this is Cameron
Parker with big news. 2024 savings remaining customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right, customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
iHeartRadio brings you New to View, Streaming Edition.
Looking for something to watch? Listen up. Next week on Netflix, Monday, Season 2 of the DreamWorks animated kids series Mighty Monster Wheelies. Next Tuesday, the debut of the Netflix documentary film Untold, Shooting Guards. Next Wednesday, the Season 2 premiere of the Netflix docuseries NASCAR Full Speed, as well as the French action film Last Bullet. Next Thursday, the launch of the Netflix romantic drama Forever, as well as the documentary film Carol G. Tomorrow Was Beautiful. Next Friday on Netflix, the debut of the dramedy film Nanas, starring Vince Vaughn, Susan Sarandon, and Lorraine Bracco, the documentary A Deadly American Marriage, as well as the Netflix reality series Too Hot to Handle Italy. Next Tuesday on Amazon Prime Video, it's the stand-up special David Spade, Dandelion. Next Thursday on Amazon Prime Video, the debut of the docuseries Octopus. Next Thursday over on Max, the second season premiere of Conan O'Brien Must Go. Next Friday on Apple TV Plus, the launch of the motorcycle adventure series Long Way Home, starring Ewan McGregor. Next Thursday on Paramount Plus, the third season premiere of Criminal Minds Evolution. Over on Peacock next Thursday, season 2 of Poker Face, starring Natasha Lyonne. Next Friday on Hulu, the debut of the comedy film Summer of '69, starring SNL's Chloe Fineman. And over on Paramount Plus next Friday, season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars.
And that's New to View on iHeartRadio. Happy binging.
Texas softball is heating up. Catch every pitch.
Field back goes Dill. The warning track to the wall. It's gone.
As the Horns take on the SEC, search Retro Austin on the free iHeartRadio app and listen to Texas softball all season long.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio and 1300 The Zone. The NBA has been really, really fun, but it's been a lot like football. So let's get back into some football. The Dallas Cowboys do what they do when it comes to the NFL draft. We've all sat back. We heard the grades. We gave the Cowboys a grade of an A in the first hour, and that's what a lot of folks are looking at. But the one thing about the Cowboys that we continue to understand about them is they always go safe. They always making their draft picks and making them safe draft picks. So when you start to look at what was needed, we happen to be at the Texas Fan Fest day when we saw that Jaden Blue got his name called by the Dallas Cowboys. You look at what that means, and that means that there's an opportunity for Jaden Blue, the home run hitter that we were looking for in the backfield for the Dallas Cowboys. He was able to make some plays. You look at the defensive side of the ball and some of the guys that they were able to go out and pick. And if you look at the Cowboys draft, they pretty much drafted all defense. All defense. They got Booker on the first. They got Booker on the offensive line, and they got Jaden Blue in the top 5 rounds as the offense. But the rest of that, they decided that they wanted to go deep into the defensive side of the ball.
You know, they did exactly what we said that they needed to do last year after the season. We said they need 2 big guys on the inside that 350 pounds that you're not pushing them backwards. They got 2.
Yep.
And those guys are only going to play hard 15 plays a game. 15 plays. Maybe 20 between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Then they got another guy that is a sideline to sideline maven, like Micah Parsons. And that's going to hold true until we get Agent Zero back. the real Agent Zero. I have very little faith in Diggs. So I'm very glad that we got another corner. And the linebacker position was very thin. And they were able to correct that. But more than anything that the Cowboys did in the draft is they got a guy that on third down, he's powerful enough to run between the tackles. And it can run all the zone read stuff and sprint option and RPO stuff. But he can line up in the backfield and come out and run a legit route and take it to the house.
Right.
Cowboys needed that bad.
Yeah, they needed a home run hitter.
They still need to get another wide receiver. That's the only, and I don't think you're going to do it with undrafted free agent. You need to go after a veteran guy, and my guy is Moore. I think if they go get Moore don't drop the ball. He's a legit threat in the NFL. He proved that he can, he's a fringe guy that can be a Pro Bowl type player. He just never had the opportunity to be a number one or a 1B.
Well, for me, with the Cowboys and looking at this team and what they're trying to build around, you're right. I mean, they never went out and got that wide receiver. They believe that they have some guys in the building that they trust to be put in this situation. But it was definitely something that initially we thought was going to be important to Dak's success. When you look at what CeeDee Lamb still had over 1,000 yards and over 100 catches. I mean, he still got the ball, even though he was the feature. They still found ways to scheme him up to get open. But I agree with you. I mean, there's still got to be a guy that you bring in to kind of offset what we've been able to see from this team. But that
wasn't the number one problem. The number one problem is 3rd down and 1, 3rd down and 2, 4th down and 1. Cowboys cannot get a yard.
Yeah, but I don't think Jaden Blue, as fast
it's
as
the
he
offensive
is,
line.
It's got to be something that you got to get some push up front for him to be able to skirt through there. But I'm looking at this wide receiver group for the Dallas Cowboys. Jalen Tolbert, Jonathan Mingo, who the Cowboys loved for some reason, went out, traded for him. Before that, when he was coming out in the draft, he was on their draft board. So they believed in him.
First round draft board.
That's why they went out and brought him back. And of course, you got CD. But you still have Jalen Brooks. You have a guy that they just brought in from Texas Tech named Josh Kelly. He is there. I don't know, but he's a college free agent. So, and you brought in Paris Campbell. But Paris Campbell, that's a long time ago in the game. Yeah, that's something totally different. So there is still that area of concern when you think of the Dallas Cowboys. But you also have to look at, okay, how healthy is Dak Prescott going to be? I thought they would sign somebody in free agency as a backup quarterback. I thought they were going to take either Quinn Ewers or Shedeur Sanders late in the draft because they were on the board. And if they thought they were that talented, why not bring those guys in? But I digress. But you look at this Cowboy team and you start to believe that they want to get better. And Schottenheimer decided that, hey, all we want to do is build a football team.
That's an incredible compliment. It's the way it should be. This is important. We're building a team. We're truly building a team. We're not just collecting talent.
And that's the most important part. We're not just collecting talent, because it doesn't matter how much talent you have on the bench if your team isn't winning.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much you think you know when you don't. And you don't have it right. And so for everybody that's a Cowboy fan, I think you can look at this draft and say, okay, there wasn't a lot of flair to this draft for the Cowboys. There wasn't, and in the wrestling term, they didn't have a lot of pop when the names were being called. The fans were like, okay. All right, let's look him up. Let's see what's going on. So those moments are a little bit different. But when you head down south and you go to H-Town and you start to look at what their draft looked like, they went out and got some playmakers. They went out and got some guys on that offensive line. They did the things that they had to do to fix and shore up that offensive line. But again, they did go out and get a Jaden Higgins in the second round. They got a Jalen Noel in the third round. The offensive lineman that they have, the left tackle, they got in the second round. And they got a running back in the fourth round. So they have done some things that this is a team that was already good.
Yeah, Houston did a good job of getting two receivers that weren't the same guy.
Right.
They got one that'll blow the top off the joint, and then they got one that'll go across the middle and try to make you pay.
Right.
So I think they did a awesome job in evaluating the two wide receivers that they brought in, and they really needed those guys.
Yep.
With Dale being out for the rest of the year, and he may not play until the 10th week of the season.
Right. And it's funny, too, because if your name is Jaden or Jalen, you got a good chance to play for the Texans.
Yeah.
They're going to give you an opportunity. Oh, your name Jalen? Oh, yeah, you got a chance to play for
It's
us.
kind of like you being a cowboy named Tyler.
Right. Yeah, you're going to be on the team.
You're going to make the team.
You're going to see what you got when it comes to that. So you start looking at all of these teams, and, again, the Cowboys, you would consider them one of the better teams, one of the better drafted teams as of right now. Then you look
They
at
gave him a B+.
what the Texans was able to do as well, and these are teams that needed to have good drafts, that wanted to have good drafts, but most importantly, they did have good drafts. So we'll see how this all plays out. Obviously, mini camps are about to start. You got the rookie camps that are getting ready to get it in. So football season is 4 months away, but those months go
They're
really
going to go fast,
especially for those kids that are now.
I'm not
in
watching
camp.
no more basketball, so I'm already focusing on football.
Oh, you're not watching no more basketball?
No.
Why?
I'm frustrated.
Did the Lakers have
I'm
anything
taking my.
to do with that? You taking your talents elsewhere?
I'm taking my talents to Galveston.
You got to make some adjustments. Hey, go down there and hang out in that dirty water. You gonna see?
Hey, there's some great shrimp in them dirty waters.
A lot of dirty shrimp in them dirty waters. Coming up next, you know what time it is. It's the WWE Hall of Famer, the Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, doing what he does and bringing you the world's strongest take. And this is one that you're not going to want to miss. Coming up next, the world's strongest take right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Southbound 360 is moving slow between 183 and Lakewood Drive. There's an hour delay getting through there. Avoid the area if you can. And then the northbound side of 360 has got a 20-minute delay between 2222 and Spicewood Springs. Eastbound 290, the off-ramp to 35 is partially blocked due to debris in the roadway. Use caution if you're traveling through there. I'm Junior Caruso with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Hardball Hardge here. Spring is in full swing, so let's talk graduation gifts and summertime road trips. From sleek sedans to bold SUVs and tough Chevy trucks, Cover Chevy in Hutto is where it's at. Go see them for $4,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 ZR2 and $3,250 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST. See dealer for details. Big time deals, down home feel. You know the name. Cruise over to coverchevyhutto.com. Together, let's drive.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin weather, cloudy skies for your Monday, a high in the mid to upper 80s. Cloudy tonight, a low near 70. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, a high in the upper 80s.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. In a rush and don't have time to shop for groceries? Let Randall's do the shopping for you. Now at Randall's, get $30 off your first online order. With free pickup or delivery, you will always get the same great prices, deals, and rewards as in-store. Shop Randalls.com or in the app.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Okay, don't freak out. Chaperone is here, and she is unfiltered on Las Culturistas. I gotta warn you, there is no topic off limits. Plus, Kate Cassidy breaks her silence on Purpose with Jay Shetty. She talks about Liam Payne, and it's an episode you do not want to miss. Plus, Amy Lou Wood drops by On Air with Ryan Seacrest, and she says she felt pretty ugly after learning her casting process for White Lotus.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
This is the iHeartRadio Sports Report.
In the NBA playoffs, the Knicks took Game 4, beating the Pistons 94-93. The officials admitted after the game that they missed a foul on the final shot from Tim Hardaway Jr. that could have given the Pistons the win. The Lakers are now down 3-1 in their series, with the Timberwolves losing Game 4 116-113. The Celtics beat the Magic 107-98 to take a 3-1 lead in their series, and the Pacers are up 3-1 on the Bucks after a 129-103 Game 4 win. 2 games tonight, Cavs Heat at 7:30 Eastern on TNT, followed by Rockets Warriors at 10 on TNT. And in the Stanley Cup playoffs, St. Louis tied their series at 2 with a 5-1 win over Winnipeg. Carolina beat New Jersey 5-2 to go up 3-1 in their series. The Capitals beat the Canadiens 5-2 to go up 3-1, and the Oilers beat the Kings in overtime in Game 4 to tie their series at 2. 2 games tonight, Lightning Panthers at 7 Eastern on ESPN, followed by Avalanche Stars at 9:30 on ESPN. I'm Andy West with your iHeartRadio Sports Report.
Need more? Open the free iHeartRadio app for the best sports stations in the country and the most sports podcasts with the biggest personalities in the game on demand.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
You heard that beat drop, so you know it can only mean one thing. WWE Hall of Fame is the world's strongest man. Mark Henry brings you his world's strongest take. Take it away, big fella. All right. What's up, man?
You know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for the world's strongest take by the world's strongest man. Marcus, back then they didn't know me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Guys, I know y'all thinking, with all the negativity that's floating around here with the Shadur Sanders, Marcus got to touch on that. Maybe his Lakers failing miserably, he's going to go and call for somebody's head. The negativity in the fact that maybe he's going to talk about the owner's son that prank called Shadur Sanders. Nope. I'm looking for the silver lining, guys. Today is the silver lining conversation. And that goes not to the University of Texas football players that were drafted, which is a silver lining. But I'm going to go with Coach Jim Schlossnagle. Coach Schlossnagle, last year, guys, played in the championship with Texas A&M. And guess what? Just swept his team. He's won series after series after series against teams in the SEC, which everybody is saying is the best baseball conference in college sports. There was a point where even Coach Schlossnagle himself, he came on this show and he took the high road. He said, you know what, we're doing okay. We got a long way to go. We haven't played our conference yet. And he diminished the talk about how good his team could be. Well, I think it's safe to say that he was filibustering and he did not want to let the cat out the bag. But let me tell you what, guys, the cat is out the bag. The University of Texas baseball team, they are them guys. And let's look at it like if it was football. Okay, Coach Sarkisian comes to the University of Texas. The first year, they went 5-7. Not a great season. And he I remember seeing him pulling grass out the ground going, wow, we're bad. We are bad. Not Coach Schlossnagle. Imagine if Coach Sarkisian came here and took that team that was 5-7 and he took them to the Final Four. In fact, he took them to a championship against Alabama or Georgia or Michigan or whoever was the champion that year. That's what Coach Schlossnagle is doing. He has this team in single digits, two losses in conference. Hardge, I can't sit here and say I'm the biggest baseball aficionado in Austin, but I love winning and I love Texas sports. And Coach Schlossnagle is doing both. He's coaching Texas and he is winning. What say you?
Well, I mean, as we've talked about before, and you heard it in hour number one, you heard, the post game and him talking about how this team is so resilient. You're right. We looked of the thought process of being in the SEC and being able to compete was one thing, but actually getting there and getting it done is something else. Not only are they getting it done, they're getting it done with different pieces every single night. Guys that you don't expect to have big nights come up in a clutch moment. You go back to Friday night and Jaden Duplantier, who's hitting probably $150, hits a ball off the center field wall that nobody was expecting him to do, to drive in a run. Then he scores. I mean, you look at those and you look at Tommy Farmer, who hadn't hit a home run in 2 seasons. Hits a home run. Texas wins the game 2-1. You look at Saturday. They win the game 3-2. Not having their best game. A guy gets on, steals second base. The throw from the catcher to third base is missed. He should have caught the ball.
Yep.
Flores pops up his slide. Bang, bang at home plate. Texas wins 3-2. Great defense and great pitching, by the way. And then yesterday, you end the game on a double play on a 6-5 ball game, and you had guys that you didn't expect to make big things happen.
And is that Coach Schlossnagle coaching these guys up, or is that his era of confidence that he's giving these guys?
I think it's more of the fact that he's breathing life into these guys, and they care about each other so much, because when players play, they make things happen. And what we've been able to see this team be able to do,
create your luck.
They create opportunities because they've already seen it happen. They prepared themselves. Come from behind victory is their name. You think you got the dub, but they say, no.
We're not finished.
We're not finished yet. So, yeah, they're fun to watch. Let's just say that. And you're on the edge of your seat the entire time. So it's been very, very impressive. And again, the Sloss effect is just that. Wherever he goes, he creates winning attitude. And that's what this Texas team has. One more segment to close out the show, and we'll send you to Dan Patrick. But coming up next, I want to talk Quinn Ewers and what's next for him. And I want to get your take on this, Mark, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
One time when Bill Schoening and I were doing a Tuesday night game, and there was an umpire behind the plate, Tom Jenkins. And Tom was a rather corpulent fellow, and he lets a pitch go in there. And you hear this pop again. He goes, ball two. Then crystal clear that our field mic picked up was some fan yelling, Jenkins, you fat.
Only on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Southbound 360s moving slow between 183 and Lakewood Drive. There's an hour delay getting through there. Avoid the area if you can. And then the northbound side of 360's got a 20-minute delay between 2222 and Spicewood Springs. Eastbound 290, the off-ramp to 35 is partially blocked due to debris in the roadway. Use caution if you're traveling through there. I'm Junior Caruso with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ownwell. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ownwell.com/terms. Estimate based on your neighborhood average and individual results may vary.
When I saw how high my property tax bill was, I was shocked. We couldn't afford this, but I discovered Ownwell. Ownwell reduced my property taxes and saved me over $1,000.
Your property taxes aren't set in stone. They can be protested and they can be reduced. But instead of filing protests yourself and very possibly losing your appeal, Ownwell does it all for you. But hurry, time is running out to protest. Ownwell has reduced property taxes for hundreds of thousands of Texans and put money back in their pocket, and you can be one of them. And unlike other companies that take half of whatever you save, Ownwell charges just 25%, and that's only if you save.
Now I don't worry about my property taxes. Ownwell reduces it every year.
Sign up now, free. Don't pay unless you save. But hurry, time is running out to protest. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000.
Hey Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are renting customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right, customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
Leo Schofield spent decades in prison for a crime Jeremy Scott later confessed to. Season 2 of the hit podcast Bone Valley investigates how Jeremy's violent past unfolded and who else may have suffered his wrath.
This is a case that should never happen. I told him you got the wrong man.
Listen to Bone Valley on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Bone Valley.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, who's your good boy? Oh, who's what? Oh,
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Catch every pitch with the Round Rock Express on 1300 The Zone.
What a great show that we've had today. We talked a lot about the NBA, NFL, the Sloss effect by my man Mark Henry. Look at him talking a little bit of baseball. We talked about the winners and losers of the NFL draft and Bill Belichick. Dude, like I don't get it. But that's not for me to understand. Well, I'm sure we'll hear more about Bill Belichick.
You gotta do like Michael Jackson, man. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, just leave it alone. But I want to get into this Quinn Ewers conversation. I know a lot of folks were talking about Shador, as did we, but my biggest thing for Quinn Ewers, and a lot of folks still disrespect him. But let's be honest about what Quinn Ewers truly is. He is loyal. He had an opportunity to go to other schools because everybody was clamoring for Arch Manning. That's fair. Okay, cool. Let's get him in the game.
You want him, you got him.
You got him now. But what Quinn was able to do for this Texas program was changing. You brought it up a little while ago. Texas at one point was 5-7. We had Casey Thompson and Hudson Card running at quarterback. Quinn decides he wants to come back to the University of Texas after a short stint at Ohio State. And he comes back in and changes it. Texas goes from 5-7 to 8-5. And then he takes your team to the Final Four in back-to-back seasons. He was the only quarterback to lead his team back into the playoffs. The expanded version. Expanded version.
Yeah.
And yet, the disrespect continues. I watched his interview with John Gruden, QB school. And he passed with flying colors.
Yeah.
Showed personality, showed the ability to read defensives.
Leadership.
Everything you could possibly want. And now, late in the draft, he gets picked. I think he landed at the perfect spot with Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins.
But you were saying that all along.
I thought he would get drafted a little bit higher. But you're correct. I did. I thought
You,
that would
you
be the spot.
told me multiple times.
That would be the spot.
Bro, Miami is the place for him.
Yep. But the thing about it for me is for him and that type of ability, perfect score as a prospect coming out of high school. Perfect score as a 5-star prospect. For him to fall that way. And I know we've talked about this before. We talked about his lack of mobility. I don't think he has a lack of mobility. I think because of the fact that he was injured all the time, he didn't want to get hit. We've seen him make long runs. We've seen him go up the sideline. We've seen him run down the middle of the field and score a touchdown. But I think the problem was he just did not want to get hit anymore.
You didn't think that he wanted to risk his opportunity at the next level?
Well, not even at the next level, for the next game. Think about it. My man was missing games, and he too. He knew what was behind him.
Yeah, that's true.
So in those types of moves, this dude had 35 starts, 27 consecutive games with a passing touchdown with different highlights and different road victories, went on the road to Michigan, went on the road to Alabama, and you're telling me, because I just went through those numbers, there were 79 guys in this conference that was drafted.
Hardge, I think the more impressive stat is the fact that he beat Arkansas, he beat Oklahoma, he beat A&M, he beat Michigan in the same calendar year.
Yes.
In the same season.
Yes. Yes. And Clemson. Let's not forget. Clemson in the playoffs.
Put them in there.
Put them in there. Put them in there.
Put Arizona in there.
But you understand
State.
where I threw that in there. You understand where I am when it comes to this. Look, the NFL is the NFL, the drafting, the evaluation, all that stuff continues to be part of the conversation, and it will always be. Dude turned down $8 million to go to another school because two things. He's loyal and his legacy. His legacy at the University of Texas should never, ever be understated. I've always been a fan. My boy called me the donkey lover because he just doesn't like him that much. But I'm telling you right now, Quinn Ewers is a bona fide winner.
Yeah.
And now getting his opportunity, I know financially it's not a win for him.
No, I don't even worry about the money. He's made money the last 4 years.
I agree.
That's not an issue. The thing is, he's guaranteed, as Charles Barkley, guaranteed at least 4 or 5 games to prove himself because Tua cannot stay healthy.
And Tua been partying all offseason. Every video I seen, Tua been out there having a good old time.
Hey, enjoy your life, but I'm going to tell you right now, you know who's in the lab?
Who?
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and you got a motivated Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Just like you have a motivated Shedeur Sanders.
I'll show you.
I don't know how Shedeur is going to do with that 5 rotation that they have of all those quarterbacks in Cleveland. But looking at what Quinn's going to have the opportunity to do and be in Miami, I'm excited about it. But the one thing I do want to ask you, every time they cut to him, somebody posted that if you're looking for a Lion King character, he had them all up on his wall. They thought he was at a Bass Pro Shop. All them animals.
Quinn Ewers, man, I was like looking.
Country guy.
I turned into Jim Carrey. I could feel the death in here. Holy cow.
It was a little bit much.
It was an anti-zoo.
we was looking at that TV. I was like, man, where's Mufasa at? Mufasa.
Man, he gotta have Mufasa on the wall.
And that's good. I'm glad you brought up Jim Carrey. That dude, he was over there looking like he had Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Man.
Jim Carrey would have had a tough time in there. But yeah, man, I'm just excited for now that the draft is behind us. All these Texas Longhorns that have now been drafted, they now have their opportunities. As they like to say, the hay is in the barn now. Go out there and go and get it and go enjoy yourself, because it is, regardless of where you went and all those guys that signed the free agent deals, all you want is an opportunity now, and the opportunity has presented itself. Now go be great, because I think you're going to have those opportunities to be great. I want to thank Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer. I want to thank our guy Marcus for holding it down, and I want to thank you, the people, as always, for making it do what it do. And just remember this, folks, we'll be even better tomorrow. And always, always, don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Coming up next, you got Dan Patrick right here, right on AM 1300, The Zone.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.